Prime Minister announced another giveaway this morning aimed at helping pubs, clubs and music venues cope with rising costs. Around 32,000 businesses are set to benefit from a 20% cut to business rates. It's expected to save the typical pub £1,100 a year. It will cost around £100 million, which the government says will be raised by reviewing tax reliefs for businesses such as vape shops and gambling arcades. Andy Burnham said it would help ensure pubs are at the heart of our high streets, as Kerry Davis reports.
With running costs rising for landlords and customer habits changing, the pressure on pubs has been bubbling up for years.
The beer's always going up. People are always complaining about the price of beers, but there's bills to pay.
From next April, pubs will get an extra 20% cut from their business rates, along with social clubs and live music venues. At the Jekyll and Hyde in Northampton, the landlord says there's good and bad in today's announcement.
Anything the government can do, and again, it's on top of the previous, which was 15%, so which is always welcome. I would hope the government went a bit further.
Stopping for a pint in Harlow in Essex, Andy Burnham promised a boost for British communities.
There's a real concern out there about the high street and the feeling that too many high streets across Britain are in decline. And for me, the pubs that we've got are at the heart of high streets.
While pubs seem to be a priority for the PM, there was no mention of cafes or restaurants. Over the road in Northampton, that's a major concern for the owner of the Biryani Express. He's been running for 3 months, and without more government support, he's not sure how long service will continue.
It feels like we are left out. Many high streets places are getting shut down in a very, where they start and they can't handle it. So we are trying, but I don't know how long we can keep it up. We are trying our best, but definitely we need some support.
Just along the high street, it's businesses like this one that could end up paying more. The government says it will fund the cut for pubs, social clubs and live music venues by reviewing the business rates reliefs for businesses it says contribute to social harm. The government also plans to crack down on online sellers who aren't paying the appropriate taxes. The leader of the Conservatives says she isn't convinced.
I just hope it's real, because Andy Burnham hasn't explained how he's going to pay for it. I had a better policy abolishing business rates completely for most of the high street. I'm worried that Andy Burnham is going to bring in tax rises. That won't be right.
But for landlord Paul, who's prepping the pub for karaoke night, the new Prime Minister is starting on the right note. Kerry Davis, ITV News, Northampton.
Well, after the pub, the Prime Minister travelled to Glasgow to meet the First Ministers of Scotland and Wales for the first time since he took power. Later, Andy Burnham will attend the opening ceremony of the Commonwealth Games in the city. Our Scotland correspondent, Peter Smith, is there. So, Peter, what was said at this summit?
Well, Charlene, in the last 10 years, I've seen 6 new Prime Ministers come into office and make this trip up to Scotland, and it's a familiar two-step that's involved in this. They meet the Scottish First Minister, the issue of independence is raised and then swiftly rejected by the UK Prime Minister, and that familiar dance was conducted again today. You can see some photographs from inside the room, inside the meeting room. There were no moving pictures, where cameras were not allowed inside to see this. But there is one slight change of tune to that familiar two-step. We've seen Andy Burnham indicate that he is open to deeper devolution for Scotland, and that's something that John Swinney told me he would be keen on as well. Here's what he told me earlier today.
He's made it clear that Westminster has failed large parts of the United Kingdom, including Scotland, and the way to address that is to devolve more powers. So that's an opportunity for Scotland to acquire more powers and responsibilities, and I will engage constructively in that process.
Would you be in favour of more mayors? That's obviously something that Andy Burnham...
I don't support mayors, because...
Is that the wrong type of devolution?
That's one of those areas where I have a different view. I think we should have elected local authorities, and they should take decisions and be accountable for those.
So more devolution for Scotland is potentially on the table, although not the wrong kind of devolution in John Swinney's eyes. He wants more powers for the Scottish Parliament. He told me today he's hoping for a better relationship going forward. I mean, certainly it's no secret that there's hostility between the SNP-led Scottish government in Holyrood and, well, previously the Conservative government at Downing Street, and that's been inherited by the Labour government, clashing on this issue of the future of the Constitution. It doesn't look like there's going to be any movement there, certainly not from Andy Burnham, and John Swinney is accepting that to some degree. He says he wants an independence referendum, but if devolution is on the table, he is willing to engage on that. One thing he did express disappointment in with me today, he said it's the Prime Minister's decision, but John Swinney says he doesn't have a particularly good relationship with the Scottish Secretary Douglas Alexander. He is surprised that he's being rewarded essentially by staying on in the position of Scottish Secretary. And of course, Anas Sarwar, the Scottish Labour leader who led Labour to their worst ever election result, being rewarded with a place in the Lords, something that John Swinney says he suspects may be in relation to their role in ousting Keir Starmer in that coup.
All right, Peter, thanks very much.